Hello, welcome to Alora Essentials, and in this tutorial we are going to start building our website. The first thing we would want to do is create a header template. Yes, if you are working with Alora, and you can decide to put it all in one page, but I decided to make it a header template so that it's easier for me to deal with. If it's in different parts, I can build more pages faster. The first thing we are going to do is create a template, and then that one is simple. We all know how we are going to do it, and then we are going to put in the header, right? To submit. Now we are going to go into here, and then we are going to pages, and we are going to load our header template. That's perfect. Now with the header template there, what we need to do is bring it down a bit, right? We can decide to do it anyhow we want it, right? Now we are going to add a background color, and isn't it nice that we don't have to go and add a node and change the color? It's a lot of stress. We don't do that. Now what you have to understand is that a template that you are going to use only has one section. You can't have multiple sections. We did multiple sections in a style template because we are not going to use it for anything. Now, because it's a header template, we need to have only one section. And in this template, we are going to build our navigation a bit differently than what we have over there. So what we are going to do is we are going to put a text in here because we don't have our logo. If we had our logo in an image format, what we would have done would be to just add an image. So I'm just going to put in the Tsunedu Poison. Okay, so we have that settled in, and then we are going to use our extractors because that's what we want to have. But in this case, the font size is a bit too much, and the best thing that we can do for it is to reduce it to 60. Right. So one thing that you have to notice, because when we change the font size, when we're creating the styles, we change the font size, we didn't actually save. So when we saved that file, what happened that the font size came to 96, and that is something that we would have to look at it later, else you are going to have to do this thing that you don't want to do again and again and again. So with that settled in, let's just try to reduce it to something that is acceptable. All right, so we have this done. Now we're going to add a block. We're going to add a block to this section, and we are going to put the block all the way here, and we are going to give the block margin to the top. We've talked about margins, and as I said, you're going to be using it a lot, and then we are going to make it 20 for now. Okay, now we are going to take the color and then reduce it to 0 because we want it to be transparent, and we want the color there because on certain devices we might probably want to have a background. Well, you never know. We could take it off and add it when we get to that particular view, or when we get to that particular view, but we don't have time for that now, so let's just leave that over there. Now next, we would want to add a certain node called hook. When we add the hook to the block, we've added a hook to the block, we are going to select what we want this hook to do. What we want the hook to do is to pull in the navigation for this website, and we are done here. So let's do a refresh, and you can see it's giving us undefined. Yes, it's undefined. Why? Because we've not defined our navigation yet, and the next thing that we are going to do is defining our navigation. Now we'll go into our website panel, and then we are going to click on nav settings here. It's just by double clicking it, we have it here. Now we are going to turn our full screen mode off because we are not doing a full screen type animation. We are not doing a full screen type navigation, so we have a normal navigation type that we want. I chose this one because I want to show a few things as we are building the website. So let's go and start working. Let's put in our first home. Now the first part of building your navigation, this part really is for you. It's not going to show anywhere. It's for you to know what it is. This is where it's going to show. So if you want it to be capital or uppercase, you can just type uppercase over here. But make sure that the link is always lowercase and exactly as the page that you are going to link to. So for now, I'm just going to call it home. But you know, in this particular tutorial, we are building a one-page website. Later, we are going to edit this so that when you click on the button, it's going to go to separate parts of the page. But for now, let's just put in there. Okay, now let's add a few ones here. We're going to say recent work, and let's put in there, and let's type it in caps lock, recent work, and let's link it to recent, and let's give it to a hash. And my ideas. All right, so I'm just pulling this everywhere. I'm just putting my ideas out there. So ideas and hash. Now we're going to have contact. The last page we are going to have contact. We didn't have about us in here, so okay, let's just do about, and then we can just say about, and then put in here about, and then this is going to be done. Now we are going to add the last one, which is the contact as contact. Contact. So contact here, and we put in a contact. I'm putting something in the link because if there is nothing in the link, it won't show up. But later we are going to change it all, and then you see how you're going to link it to the various parts of the page. So now we have 5 stuff out for our navigation. Let's go back to our website. Let's go to the header template and let's do a refresh. You can see a reload, and as you can see, we have this header template done perfectly. Now let's go ahead and do this, and I'm going to add a node. I'm going to add a node to this, and I'm going to call it text align. We are going to align it. There are other nodes that you can use for this, but I am using text align, so I'm just going to justify or center. I'm going to push it to the right, and then we have our navigation done. Let's go to our website. Let's go into our design and look at how our design is. Right. Okay, let's go to the first part and see, in attempt to make sure that this design is as we see it here. You can see there's a huge space at the top, right? And there's a huge space between the photography and this. That one we will take we'll take care of it in the next video, that we are building our website in that way so that it looks close to what we want to build. So we are going to have, instead of using a margin at this time, we are going to use padding so that it will affect all the elements in here. So we select the section, and then we are going to give it padding to the top of 70 or 80. Let's look at how it looks like. So so we're going to make it 80, right? And then we have this. Now you remember we actually gave a margin to the top for this, and we are going to reduce it so that it aligns exactly with the design. So basically this is what we have. It doesn't look as we want it, so we are going to go ahead and change quite a lot of things with the navigation. Now that we have our navigation brought in, we would want to change the colors because these colors are too bright. We don't want any of this for our navigation. So let's try and see what we can do. So to change your navigation colors is very simple. First, you have to make sure that this node options, that's what the node options are for. But then we click put off, and then we come down to activate the navigation. Now, the activation of the node options are between the top ones and the down one. So the middle one is the navigation. So anytime you want to do any design for the navigation, what you have to do is just click on navigation to activate it. Then first we are going to start. We are going to start with our bringing in our items to edit. So we have, say, link base. That is the base of the link, and you can see we have a background node. We want this to be transparent on all screens. So we are going to make it transparent and press save. Now let's go back. We are not interacting with this part of the application. We are going into the node options, and that's where we are going to deal with animation. Now we are going to call our link, right, which is this link. As you can see, is the background is white. Let's see what happens when we change the background color. So we are going to make it transparent. But you see one thing, as it's transparent, the text is also black, so we can't see anything. So now the text, we have options. We can make it lighter or we can make it white. So I'm choosing to make it a little bit of light. So we take this one here. Now one thing that we can do is increase the size or reduce the size or add other nodes to this. And I want to add another node because I don't want this font family. I want a different font family, and that font family I want to use is a font, part of the fonts that we are using. Probably I'm just going to use Poppins, right, so that it matches with our fonts for the website. So I'm just going to use Poppins Light. Let's see, Poppins Light is gonna work for me. It does. Now I would probably want to increase the font size from 20 to 22, but that's quite big. Looking at what we want to create, let's just make it 20. Let's leave it at 20 and see how it's gonna work for us. So remember to save. Now you can see the hover is what we need to look at, and let's go down here. We can see link hover. This is what we are editing. So link hover is just telling you that when you hover your mouse over the link, what color should come, what color should come in. So I'm just going to change the background color, right? So the color has to be white. This is white, but the background color is not going to be that blue color that we have. I'm going to select one of the background colors that I have here, and I'm going to use the lighter version of the color. I'm going to click it and I'm going to put it in here, and let's see what happens. So it's going to be fun. So what did I do? I just duplicated instead of Control S. That's why we have a lot of this over here, and we are going to delete them. We can decide not to duplicate, we can decide not to delete it, but it has to go. So I press Control S. Now that I'm done editing my navigation, I need to click off to put off the node options so that it doesn't go into the navigation aspect. All right, so now we are done with that, so we can come and interact with it here. What we have here, you can see that we have just what we created, but you can see there's an issue because the top padding for this is a bit much, so we need to increase the padding for the top here. So we just need to go back, right? We need to go back to navigation, turn on, then the link base, then the padding to the top, we add 5 to it, right? And let's see. Now it's a bit too much, so padding to the top, instead of 18, let's make it 16 and see how it works. That works perfectly, so we can save it and then go back to put this off. Okay, so we can have our header created, but it's not really making it look the way, it's not looking the way we want it to look. It's not in the website, so we don't know how it's gonna look, especially because we are not getting the kind of font that we used for this, right? Now there are other things that we can do. We can look at other font families if we don't like this particular font we are using, and that would mean that we've actually done, yeah, so we could use Playfair Display, but basically we would look at other fonts too that we can use. For now, we can just keep it at this, and then let's see how things go for us. Now let's go back to our current page. You can see we have this in here. Okay, so current page, let's delete this. So now we don't need a navigation setting, so we can delete that tab so that it doesn't take a lot of memory from our machine. So now we have this, we can have load template. Okay, now in the template we are going to put the name of the template we want to load here, and then there is header already, so we save it, and then we are going to add another section. As you can see, it's loaded it here, and this is what we are going to talk about now. Okay, so we see that our navigation is not showing as it's supposed to show in the header, because here we've worked on our navigation perfectly, but in the home page when we bring in the template, it doesn't come with the styles for the header. There's a reason why we did that, because you might want to change the color of the font or the navigation for each page. Let's say, for example, you are building a website where on the home page you need the navigation to be under an image, okay, and the other pages you need the navigation to be on a white background. One other page you need the navigation to come on a different color background. You are not restricted to what you create in a template. You can apply other styles. That's why it's not added here. But here we are going to cheat. It's going to be easy to carry the work we've done here to that place. We don't want to sort of waste a lot of time doing it all over again. So we know about actions, right? So we are going to save an action. This time we are going to call the action the group navigation, and then we are going to give it the name. So we are going to say photos nav. Right, let me save. What this is going to do is that it's going to take the navigation. As you can see, navigation under here is a default folder that saves navigation. So with navigation you really don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just click on it, start with navigation / and then put in the name of the navigation that you are saving. So now let's go back to our home page, and then we can continue building our website. This is the second section that we are going to build, and the second section has the same background as this section. So what we are going to do is we are just going to go into here and then put in our background one. Right. So basically we can continue building our website without stress. So in this tutorial, we've actually built our header template, we've dealt with navigation, we've dealt with quite a lot of things that you're going to be using in other websites that you build. So in the next video tutorial, we are going to continue building our website by going ahead and building the other sections that we need to build. Thank you for watching this tutorial.